Tony talked a little bit about the DOT 5-year plan, and I don't know if we want to hear from Steve and Bob and those guys that have attended the DOT.
I defer my time to the politicians.
To the politicians.
We want to vote on that.
Okay, guys, don't fight. Okay. Bob,
You want me to talk now?
or do you want to wait and do it later?
I'll let things unfold for a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, basically we talked about the strategy for moving forward, but we may need to bring that up again. And will you fill us in on the DC trip, please?
In April, I went to Washington, D.C. to represent the association again. I thank you very much for that opportunity, and I wanted to come back today and tell you it was a very good trip, and I think productive. We were able to, I was able to visit with each of our member of the Iowa delegation, some from Nebraska and South Dakota as well, talking with them about the importance of completing the corridor, of finishing the Midwest Connector, of getting a focus and priority set on getting everything completed. And the article I wrote in the newsletter, hopefully everyone got to see, did really recap all the folks I talked to, and the reception I got was very good. Nobody is talking about if Highway 20 gets done anymore, which is really rewarding to hear. They're talking about when Highway 20 gets done, and they all are also talking about what they can do to help it and to make the project come to fruition. So it was rewarding in that way. Of course, concerns come up, and the primary concern I ran into is the fact that our federal highway bill expired last September, and through a series of extensions, including the current extension, which takes it through the end of this calendar year, means that we aren't operating in the system that the DOT Commission would like, or anybody in the nation would like, to be able to plan and to look out ahead as far as they want to. When you're working on extensions, it doesn't give you the vision, it doesn't give you the formulas that are really necessary for planning. So, in talking with both members of Congress and staff, only one person told me they thought we could have a new highway bill by the end of 2011. Everyone else is thinking that 2011 will start discussions and we'll have a bill in 2012. But the new bill is going to look probably very different than what we've experienced with highway bills in the past. The message I received was that we have had a highway bill previously. Most all of the energy and the money is focused on highway projects and highway infrastructure. And the Obama administration has signaled an intention to make this next bill more of a surface transportation bill. And what that means is that the monies allocated to it will not go primarily toward highway construction and maintenance. They would also go more to rails and mass transit and other projects similar to that. And the other big change that we can anticipate in the next highway bill comes in terms of funding. The way the highway bill has been written for the last few decades is based on gas tax. And everyone says that's got to change, and for many reasons. Number one, we don't have the revenue with gas tax that we used to. Now, it would seem illogical to assume that because there's more of us around, we're driving more cars, we're driving more miles, but the truth is we're driving more efficient cars. We're using less gas as we expand with the number of people and number of cars on the road. So when you have less revenue, but your project needs are as big or greater, then there's a real conflict there. And that's why I believe everyone is pessimistic about the chances of a highway bill being something that happens anytime soon. So, what do we do as an association? I think we stay engaged. We need to be talking with members who are on the Transportation Committee. In Iowa, that's Leonard Boswell, so we can, keep in touch with them about what we want to see this look like and what's important to Iowa. And looking at something from a national perspective is very different than looking locally. In Iowa, obviously, I would think our priority is going to be on highways. That's where most of our travel occurs. We aren't rail dependent. We don't have the great population centers that mass transit is a great benefit for. So those are things to be watching out for. That said, though, I want to remind you, the attitude toward completion of 4-lane Highway 20 is very, very good. On the table when you registered this morning, you saw this document. This is the document I took with me to DC that I shared with the members of Congress and their staff. It's basically an update document just to make sure they all know where we're at in the process. This map is one that we got from the DOT at a public hearing in Clarksonville in 2008, and it's filled up with segments Tony just talked about moving west to east and getting what's west of US 71 completed as 4-lane. And the staff is very appreciative of seeing this and knowing, and not that they haven't been told before or by others, that there is a vision, there is a plan for completing the project by the DOT. It's not something that's pie in the sky. They've invested time and resources to develop this plan. On the other side is giving them the status update as of the last 5-year plan of where we are with paving, bringing it to early by 2013, so they know that. And the top section is our little sales message about why completing 4-lane Highway 20 is important. And what I just handed out to you, these are things that have happened since I've been in Washington, D.C. that relate back to what happened then. Each year for the past 11 years, almost every year, we have gotten fairly sizable annual appropriations earmarked for 4-lane Highway 20 to go along with monies at DOT from the Roadies Tax Fund to help move along the progress of our project. This year, as 2 years ago, or 2006 I think it was, the House Republicans have decided to have a self-imposed moratorium on earmarks. So that means that Congressman Latham and Congressman Kane, who have been very good about getting money for us every year for our project, aren't going to be asking for it. Now, as an association, we submitted a request to Congressman Kane every year. I talked with Congressman Latham's staff about it. They are vastly supportive of our project. We can't have better allies than those two in Congress, but they aren't going to be asking for money for us. So this year, the association also submitted requests to Senator Grassley and Senator Harkin's offices. And so what you see here is the results of not just our efforts, but everyone who is visiting with them about 4-lane Highway 20. Senator Grassley requested $3 million for our project in Calhoun County, and Senator Harkin, and I told Nathan I'm going to give Senator Harkin credit today because this is the first annual appropriation Senator Harkin has asked for us for 4-lane Highway 20 on the western side of the state. So we're very appreciative of that. These aren't done deals. Just because they have requested these appropriations doesn't mean that they're going to happen. I suggest here for an action item for all of you who are willing to go to their websites and to thank them for submitting the appropriation request. Tell them you support them and you support the completion of 4-lane Highway 20. And those email access points are given to you there in the handout I gave. So we need to be vocal in our support so the senators and our members of the House know we are still pushing. We are still very much invested in seeing this project brought to completion. Talked a little bit here about the highway bill, which I've already covered with you, and then I listed the lettings down here at the bottom. Tony talked about those, and Mike, good to meet you in person. I talked to Mike on the phone yesterday, and he gave me this information about the lettings we're grading in Sac County coming up in May and July. So, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm thrilled to have gone to represent you again.
We thank Ann for her trip. Yes, go ahead.
What's the reaction you received from Nebraska?
Nebraska is very supportive, and they have concerns of their own, and I haven't been able to get to the bottom of it. There's apparently a language issue. They have received earmarks that will help them advance their Nebraska 35 project, but there's a language issue that isn't allowing them to spend the money appropriately. So the Siouxland Chamber, who organizes this trip, assigns presenters so that you get your 2 minutes to talk to your legislators. So I was the presenter for the transportation issues on highways. And then the gentleman from Nebraska, he said an and needs to be changed to an or something equally as minuscule, but it means that they'd be able to spend their appropriations to keep things moving forward. They do feel positive. They feel like they're really slowing down in Nebraska with 35. They don't have the momentum we do, but they are very encouraged by what's happening for Highway 20 because they believe that will help them as they lobby for their project to continue moving forward. And I don't know if there's any resolution for them on getting their language change made.